Hey guys, what's good? Come on in. This is Yepa, Shamanic Practitioner. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, make sure that you hit that bell so that way you can receive notification as to when a video does upload. For those that have already subscribed to my channel, thank you so very much. Okay. Alright, so we're going to be doing a collective reading here today. I'm going to be using my emotions deck. So we're going to go ahead and see what comes out here, okay? Let's go ahead and tap on in for the collective. All right, what you want to talk to the collective about today? What do you want to talk to the collective about today? What do you want to talk to the collective about today? What do you want to talk to the collective about today? Okay. The relationship that I have with my child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. Okay. We also have beautiful. Alright, so the relationship that you have with your child is weird and strange. Alright guys, so when it comes to these collective readings here, I always like to see what Spirit wants to discuss first. And then once Spirit lets me know what they want to discuss, then I figure out which deck that I want to use to bring across the guidance that you guys need to be aware of. So I will be pausing the video, not that you'll really notice though, but it's going to give me a moment to see what deck that I want to tap into here. So it seems like this reading is going to be for a specific few, okay? For those that stay in this reading or the title interests you, you may benefit definitely from my family dynamics reading that is now available on my website, spiritualvibrations.org here. But this is a specific reading here pertaining to the relationship that some of you have with a particular child. It's kind of like, of course it's your child, right? So you're going to always love your child, right? But maybe something about the relationship is not as you had expected it to be. Like there is a course for all parents, an expectation to have a beautiful relationship with your child, but that's not always the case. It's sometimes, you know, especially if you are a parent that has more than one, right? It may at least just be one out the bunch, all right? In which you don't quite like where the relationship dynamic is between you and your child, but you know it can be beautiful. Okay, I feel like the connection here, regardless of where things are right now with your child here, the connection can be beautiful. And I actually feel for many of you, it's not going to be for all though, but for many of you, I feel that wherever the relationship may be at right now that is displeasing to you, I do feel eventually in the far future that it's going to end up being a beautiful relationship. So I'm hearing growing pains. I'm also hearing karmic child. So for some of you, this is your karmic child. Normally karmic children come into play from my past lives. So for some of you, you actually have a soul contract with a particular child. This could be like maybe your child does weird things or say weird things, or maybe your child is doing some unhealthy things, or I don't know. It's like I'm just hearing it's not supposed to be like this. I just saw the number 12. So for someone that's watching, your child is about 12 or around that age. For others, this child is an adult, halfway there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead now and pause, and I'll be back. All right, just like that. Okay, just like that. So I felt the need for some reason to pull 2 decks, but I'm going to actually use my doula deck that I have here. I felt drawn to do that here. So let's go ahead and tap on in. Let's get some additional insight about this situation, Divine Spirit, for the collective here. When it comes to the relationship with their child that they have is weird and strange and unhealthy. For the collective, the relationship with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. The collective, the relationship with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. And the relationship with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. Final shuffle. Okay. Give me one card, Divine Spirit, for the collective here. The relationship that they have with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy for the collective here. So we have a feel-good list, all right? Now, again, these are doula cards here. I felt the need to pull them. Spirit works with me with many tools, so just give me a second here. I'm being shown that I need to pull 3 here. All right, for the collective, the relationship that they have with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy for the collective. We have peace and calm. And one more card here. The relationship that they have with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. One final card. The relationship that they have with their child is weird. Okay. We have create a sacred space. I heard no for that one. And you are unique. Bottom of the deck. My body is enough. All right, I'm going to be talking to multiple people here. So it's going to be important that you take what you feel resonate and leave what does not here. For some of you, the reason that your relationship with your child feels weird is because your child might not feel good about themselves. That's for some. For others, your relationship with your child feels unhealthy because you don't have a good relationship with yourself. Some of you that have a strange relationship with your child has a lot to do with their childhood years. For some of you, your child has an unhealthy behavior of maybe toxicity. I'm hearing like verbally. So something with how they communicate. So for some of you, the unhealthy relationship with your child is issues with the communication here. Somebody has issues with their temper. Someone may have issues with accessing self-control here. For others here, I feel like as a child, somebody feels as if they wasn't heard. For some of you, your child may have felt alone as a child, okay, in some aspects of their life. I feel that either you or your child definitely struggles with some type of confidence or self-esteem issues that may have come from their childhood. Or if they are a child, this is something that they're experiencing right now. I'm also seeing that you and this child, regardless of age, may suffer from anxiety here. For some of you, this child didn't feel loved and don't feel loved. Let's go ahead and tap on in and remove these cards here. All right, let's go ahead and tap on in for the collective divine spirit when it comes to this collective reading here. All right, we're going to shuffle 3 times. All right, the relationship with their children is unhealthy, strange. The relationship with their children or child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. The collective. The relationship with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. The collective. So overall energy here, we have a lesson here. So for some of you, the issue is your child does not listen. Your child could be very hard-headed, okay? Especially if you have like younger children. Again, I saw the number 12 and we have the number 2 here as well here. For some of you, maybe in the last 2 months, you've been noticing some changes. I feel like, again, some of you, your child does not listen here. For someone, maybe your child is starting to talk back. For others, your child felt when they were a child that you didn't listen to them or they wasn't heard. Okay? So strong issues surrounding communication when it comes to this relationship here. All right, for the collective here, the relationship with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. For the collective here, the relationship with their child, we have here giving and receiving here. All right, for some of you, you could be looking at the relationship like, man, you know, all that I have done for you. Okay, all that I have given, all that I have sacrificed. Maybe some of you guys have said that or is saying that if you're in this situation now. For some of you, your child may feel that there was some favoritism, or they feel that there is some favoritism that's not going to be for everyone. For others, it's kind of like, I got to be straight up. For others, this could be a situation where you're giving too much to your child. And you may say, you can never give enough to your child. Yes, you can. You can do the most for your child, you know, without the teachings. You know, it's a level of boundary. It's a level of discipline, you know. You get this, you'll be rewarded for this by doing this. If you don't do this, then you won't get rewarded. You know, it's kind of like that. Instead of just keep giving even though that they're not supposed to even be rewarded in the first place. You know, those type of things. So it's like, not saying don't give to your child. I'm not here to give any parenting tips, okay? Because there ain't no book on parenting. But I can only say what I'm seeing here. For some of you, you are giving too much and it's not enough balance here, because it's like the more you're giving, the energy that you're getting back is like causing some issues right now. And this is giving me for like definitely preteen type of vibes is giving me like anywhere between there up until like maybe 17 could be significant here when it comes to that particular message here. Let's keep going for the collective here. Divine Spirit, the relationship that they have with their child is weird. Yeah, that love. So, you know, that love is there. Of course you love your child, and your child does love you, regardless of how things have been, regardless of how things are right now. This child does love you. Okay. For many of you, you're actually the backbone for this child here. But I do feel like, what did I say? Growing pains. Look at how this plant, this leaf is growing here. But it's space though. For some of you, your child has been giving you space, and for others, you've been giving your child space. And it's important for you to know that if this is a time right now in your dynamics where you and your child are giving each other space, it's okay. Spirit is saying it's okay. Doesn't mean that the love is not there. It just means that you may need space and this child may need space. But it's still there. There's still a connection. Okay? A lot of sixes here. Venus energy, motherly energy. Could have been a reason why Spirit led me to pull the doula deck. Okay, what's this about, Divine Spirit, for the collective here? The relationship with their child is weird, strange, or unhealthy for the collective. The relationship with their child here. We have just breathe here. Some of you, you know, when you have circumstances in your life, right, when it comes to people, the emotions attached to the people change based on who the people are. Okay, so you know the way that you might feel about a romantic relationship is going to be a different feeling and emotion that you're going to have pertaining to you and your child dynamic here. So anytime that a parent is dealing with adversities within the child, it normally weighs heavy on that person's heart. Okay, it is something that is kind of like takes your breath away. When the relationship, you know, with a child that you've raised or is raising, however it is, just kind of seems like it transforms. And maybe in a way that doesn't feel quite pleasant here. Okay, so some of you have a heavy heart right now because you're in this dynamic, right? You're definitely in this dynamic. Let's get some more cards out. I'm gonna feel like I want to get the cards out all together so we can create the picture here. What's this about, Divine Spirit, for the collective? A relationship that they have with their child is weird and strange. We have sacred energy here. Give me 3 more cards. And overall energy here, Divine Spirit, their child. The relationship with their child is strange and weird. We got heal. The relationship with their child right now is weird, strange, and unhealthy. We got seek. The relationship with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. We have rest and reconsideration. Oh, you guys can't even see it, girl. Hold up, let me put this up. I'm glad I looked up at the camera. Period. Did that. Just like that. And what's the overall... We got refusing to see as one of the overall energies here as well. And one more card here. The relationship that they have with their child is weird, strange, and unhealthy. Alright. Yeah, some of you I just heard you could be dealing with children that has this level of entitlement. I feel like that is something very strongly here. The level of entitlement that some of these kids have. And for some of you, that's what I was speaking about when it comes to just constantly giving and giving and giving and giving and giving with no type of boundary or balance here. You know, you're not doing a justice here by doing that, okay? Again, I ain't here to try to preach to you about your parenting or nothing like that because ain't nobody perfect. But, you know, sometimes you just live and learn stuff. So we got well-deserved reward. This goes back to me saying what this beautiful card is acknowledging here. Like, regardless of where things are with you and this child in the far future, again, it shows that things are going to be way better than what they are now here. Like I said, some of you, this is a karmic child. We got 999. 999. This is a karmic child here from a past life here. So again, it's kind of like looking at it in a context where you can kind of like understand it a little bit more. It's like you and this child had some type of beef in the past life. This child may have not actually been a child for you in a past life just because they're a child now. Maybe the roles were reversed. Maybe your child was the mother and you were the child, you know. But in this life, you decided to come back and do things differently. This could be where maybe you guys worked together, you know, in a past life. But she decided to come back. He decided to come back as your son or your daughter. You know, that type of energy here as well. But it's like you guys came back because you wanted to fix, all right, whatever situation that happened in that time frame in this lifetime, okay? All right, so now that we got a clear picture here, a lot of emotions I feel is definitely very heavy because, again, this is a delicate situation when you are not in the best place with someone that you've birthed here, right? So I feel that there's a lot of heavy emotions you might feel as a person watching, but also the child does here as well, especially more so like for those that's more in their adult age, okay? As well, okay? I feel like for those that's dealing with younger kids that's going through that, they could be in a period right now where they are dealing with some hormonal imbalances, and they're also kind of just going through that little teenage stuff, you know. Not giving that as an excuse or nothing like that, but it is something that is coming to the forefront. For others here, I feel that you could be dealing with a child here that refuses to kind of see things in a different perspective. You may be dealing with a child that is like their way or the highway, the way that they see things, the way that they view things, and that's just law. Um, okay, and that is an issue, okay, that goes around issues with the communication. For others, you know, this is what your child feel about you. You know, they feel like, you know, that you're refusing to kind of see that maybe you feel as if like the way you look at things is rigid, you know, so that vice versa energy here. Someone in this relationship dynamic could be refusing to see here. I feel that in this relationship dynamic, though, that you have with the child, you got somebody that's not woke spiritually, meaning their third eye. Somebody is not woke. They may think they woke, but they are not woke, right? And then you got the other person that is woke. And I feel like for some of you, this is not going to be for all, but for many of you, some of you, your third eye is the one that's open. And the child's third eye may not be open. So their perception on how they choose to see things may not be correct, okay? But for others, your child third eye may be open and yours may not. So you got to be honest with yourself here, okay? I feel that this space that has transpired or is transpiring, okay, is actually something that's needed for this child to kind of work through their things, their own emotions, to process, get to understand them better, okay? Getting to know their own beliefs versus the beliefs that they've been raised to believe. You know, this space does a lot for this child, but it also does a lot for you here as well, because for some of you, it could be a situation here where it's kind of like creating space to remove the attachment. Maybe some of my moms here, you have some attachment issues, you know, or that's how this child feels here, okay? But I feel that, again, for the parent here, this is helping you to heal some things within yourself and maybe even help you heal your inner child while there is a space between you and this child. But it doesn't take away that the love is still there. The love is still present here. So it's like you both are doing some healing behind the scenes. But I understand in this place of distance, whether this is a physical distance or whether this is an emotional distance with your child or mental distance here, I feel that this distance, what was I going to say? this distance here can create a lot of fear right now, right? On the what ifs, like, okay, well, for parents, it could be like, okay, well, what if it turns out this way, or what if we don't reconcile, or for a child, it's like, what if I'm never able to connect with them in this way, things of that nature here as well. So there could be a lot of that coming up during this time frame also here. But I feel that you both kind of do need some space. Now, when I'm talking to the parents that is for children that's under, right, the age of 18, and they are still a minor or still going through their teenage years here as well, I feel like you need to stay grounded first and foremost, so you don't fuck around and slap shit out their ass, okay? No abuse. We don't believe in abuse on this channel, all right? Don't touch the kids, respectfully. But I believe in discipline. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in abuse, but I definitely believe in discipline. Um, but that's my belief. Doesn't have to be yours. I digress. Um, I feel like this is a time for you guys to kind of get grounded here as well. Um, and kind of like center yourself with the changes that is transpiring right now in your child, or either the dynamics of the relationship that you have with your child here. All right, there is something about that, because again, all emotions are heightened. You got underage hormones, finding out about themselves, learning, all that other stuff, right? Getting to know them in a way, all right? You on the other hand, like, look, I don't know what the hell your problem is, but you get it to fucking together, right? That type of vibe. But serious, like, look, this is a lot of transformation is happening right now. So it's kind of like find ways to stay better grounded here. I want to clarify this card here for the collector. What's this rest and reconsider about when it comes to the relationship that they have with their child is weird and unhealthy? We have the lead here. Now, for some of you, this child could be behaving this way because the father is not present. Or for others, if this is a situation where now your child is an adult, maybe as a child their father was absent here. Whether their father had transitioned, or whether their father, was in their life and left, or the father never was present here. Okay, for others, there is like okay, I'm getting so many messages here. But yeah, for those that's kind of dealing with children, it's something about like for some of you could be a situation here, like if you've broken up with their father, okay, divorce their father, okay. Something about that could be significant here as well, as to maybe why a child is, changing. You don't necessarily have to be their father. Let's say for some of you, you're not with a father and you've been in a relationship with a good guy that has a good person that you consider, that has been that fatherly role model for their child. And maybe you and this person kind of like, just kind of separated paths here, but that kind of affected their child, okay, in some shape or form. For some of you, this has to do with maybe some trauma that this child went through as a child, okay. I'm not going to say it, but if you know, okay, as well. So even as an adult, these are things that they're still trying to heal, work through, or process here as well, all right. I feel like it is acknowledging here for those that's dealing with younger ones, okay, this is definitely a time for you to kind of like really step into position. I'm not here to try to change anybody's beliefs, and I'm not here to start a controversy because I ain't got time to listen to you. But I'm just going to say that some of you may need to really step into the parent role. Some of you could have been or have been in this role in which you are being more maybe like a friend, or maybe more like a sibling, or more like a, sister, or whatever the case may be, than actually being that, when you think of lead here, you think of someone in authority here. All right. Um, that's kind of the energy that is needed right now for some of you. Okay. Needing to be more in that position, but in a grounded way, not in a narcissistic way. That's why it's so important to kind of remain grounded right now, especially for those who are dealing with children under 18 right now. Remain grounded and centered. Deep breathing exercises here as well, but it's kind of like a need to put your foot down. A need to kind of let them know who's running the ship. Okay. As well here. Now, are they going to be happy about it? No, they may not be happy about it, but they'll be okay. They will be okay. All right. I feel that for those, again, that has definitely been having communication issues with the child, there is improvement here. I feel like this child, for some of you, just need to grow. For some of you, life really hasn't happened for this child. Maybe you have always been there to kind of like hold it together, hold things together for this particular child. Anytime they fall, you will be right there. Anytime, there's adversities, you will be right there. But I feel that for some of you that's been in that spot, this distance is needed, like really taking a step back and making sure that you're not forcing yourself in places that you shouldn't be. Because I feel like this is a time for some of you to allow them to get a taste of what life is about. Okay? Sometimes when we can't be taught, life will teach us. And it's not that in any shape or form we are supposed to want our child not to go through certain things. So that's why we talk to our children as much as we do, because we've been there, done that, right? But it comes a point in time where sometimes they stop listening. Doesn't mean that you stop talking, but you also have to learn how to detach and let them find their way. Because for us, life has always been our greatest teachers. And the cycle continues. Nothing changed. Everything is always repeated. Okay? So that's something. But like I said, we get ready to wrap this reading up here. We do have believe and succeed here. So like I said, I do feel that there is further growth of embetterment of happiness, joy, understanding, better communication in the near future. What's going to be occurring here as well. I feel like in the meantime, parents, if you're in this situation where this is an adult child and there is distance here, this is the time to really kind of just like focus on you right now, okay? Never stop talking, because even if you know that sometimes they're not listening, they are hearing you, all right? But sometimes it go out one ear and come out the other, but you never stop talking. Of course, when they get a certain age, you can't discipline them no more, right? So, but you can still talk to them, all right? Because they do hear you, and even if they don't take the advice, that's fine. That's fine. But it's gonna always be in their subconscious, like, okay, well, mom, dad told me this. You know what I'm saying? So never stop talking. Never stop talking here. And if there is a situation where there is a distance and you guys are not communicating with the child, again, allow this space to happen. Okay? Allow this space to happen right now. Find other things to kind of focus your energy on right now. Okay? So that it doesn't affect you too much emotionally here. And just trust that things are going to go smooth sailing. Okay? You're going to be happy, very happy in the end. All right? Very happy in the end. Because I feel like for many of you, this child here that could be in this energy where they just don't see things the way you do, or they don't see life. They could be having one way of how they view things as well. It feels like they're going to be very woke. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be very woke. And these are going to be the conversations in the future where they may come and apologize. They may say, mom, or dad, I realize this, or I see this now. I understand what you were saying then, but I couldn't quite. You know how we did that. How we be doing that, So, it's just a cycle that continues here. But just know that the love is still there regardless here, okay? All right. So this does complete this reading for today. If you have enjoyed, make sure, that you like. Feel free to subscribe if you would like to. If you're interested in a more personal reading with me, spiritualvibrations.org. The information is in the description box below. So until next time, Ashe.